Hi. So if you don't know me, I'm Andrina, and this is just a little short pre-video to the EFT meditation that I recorded live. But I wanted to just give you a little bit of pre-information, and there's also more information on my website, and I will link that below the video so you can access it there. And on my website, there's also a graph where you see the points. So it's easy for you, if you want to practice it at home, it's easy for you to learn the points. It's pretty simple once you've done it a few times. So EFT, it stands for Emotional Freedom Technique, or it also known as tapping. And it's also called the emotional acupuncture, even though it can also be used for physical things like headaches or sleep issues, any thing that you may have. It can of course be used for emotional things as well. And that is also that any disruption in our system, in our body, influences us physically and mentally and emotionally. Imagine you have a headache, that is a physical pain, but emotionally and mentally, you're not going to be the same as if you wouldn't have a headache. Or if you, experience some heartache, for example, your energy, your physical energy might be less. So it always goes two ways. And we work, same as acupuncture, in EFT, we also work with the meridian. So the meridians, you have to imagine they're like energy lines in the body. And through tapping, we kind of let that energy flow, as it, should again. Because any pain, whether that's physical or emotional or mental, like I mentioned, is kind of a disruption in those energy channels. So what is, for some people, and it was for me, quite unusual with tapping, we actually go into the negative. So, we're very used to the thinking positive and the affirmations, which I'm, I really love. But there is also some dusting that needs to happen, how I call it, and that is, that we need to make space. For example, you also have in your garden, if you have weeds, the flowers don't have space to grow. So you want to have that space, then, and clear out the negative and the painful emotions that you may have, to then make space for all the good and the beauty and the healing to happen. What's really interesting with tapping is that when we go into the negative, normally there can be a new stress response, because if you go into maybe that situation, that feeling, really go into it, and the stress response can be heightened again. But through the tapping, that actually doesn't happen. So it's scientifically proven that the amygdala, there, the stress response is controlled, basically. Through the tapping, actually doesn't react as much as it would without the tapping. And they've also tested cortisol levels. So when we're stressed, there is this hormone rush, the fight and flight, I gotta go, the tiger is coming. So when we tap, that hormone release is much lessened. So that's how we can go with more ease into maybe the negative emotions. And because we'll tap at the same time that we're doing it. And we do then also go into positive too, and then to round it up. And you know, this being, you know, in April 2020, we're in the middle of partial or full lockdown, depending where you are, of the coronavirus. So, you know, tapping is such an amazing tool anytime, but right now it's like really, really, really amazing. And so, well, you know, you can then listen to the EFT meditation on its own, and you can also go back to it and, you know, just let it guide you and go into it whenever you need it. And please feel free to change any of the wording that I may use that don't resonate with you. You can change it, you can just revert a little bit, because it has to really sound true to you. And of course, when I work one-on-one with people, then I can really go much more specific and unique towards that. So this is more of a general approach, but, you know, from my experience, it works really well, because we all have fears and certain levels of anxiety, and, you know, it's good to clear that and to make space. So that's really it. There's more information on my website and, you know, around the web anyway. And of course, if you have any questions at all, please, please, please feel free to message me anytime. And I hope it gives you a little bit of peace and a little bit of trust and confidence in all that is happening. So with no further ado, I will switch over, and, you know, you can start with the meditation. Thank you.